Hello everybody, welcome back to Ken's Palace of Collectible Exotica. Right, today, normally, well, it's been a while now, but normally I would be doing a pickups video of any steelbooks and gaming steelbooks and film steelbooks I might have picked up, but it's been very slim pickings lately. Haven't really had much to pick up, to be honest, so I thought in lieu of that we would do the second part of the new series I instigated called Ken's Best 10 of Top 10 of Everything. And today, just to make the steelbook fans happy, I've gone for gaming steelbooks. I'll do my top 10 best ever gaming steelbooks, in my opinion, of course. Right, little very brief history lesson. Steelbooks began in the era of PS2, the original Xbox. There weren't that many, there were few and far between. I only have one from that era because it was the PS3 era when steelbooks began to become fashionable. You know, the number of steelbooks burgeoned with the advent of all the collectors and limited editions that came with their own steelbooks. So PS3, I think it's true to say that's the golden age of the gaming steelbook, and then of course that passed into PS4, perhaps even more so now, because there seem to be more steelbooks attached to, for instance, collector's editions. You know, limited steelbooks that you can only get from that edition. Now, when it comes to PS3, I have, even if I do, I'm not really bragging because it's a fact, but I have quite an extensive collection of PS3. I would say of the ones readily available, I've got them all. You can never ever say, oh, I'm 100%. You know, I've got everything, because there's always maybe a very small limited edition that passed me by. I know they did some fan editions of some RPGs, some of the smaller publishers. There may be a couple there that I've missed, but for all intents and purposes, I've got the major bulk of the PS3 stuff. So, I'm in a good position to say what my favourite top 10 is. Not so much PS4. I mean, I've got quite a lot of PS4 steelbooks, and I'm continuing to buy them, but I largely buy them, as I've said in previous videos, I largely buy them second hand now, used, or I'll buy a limited or a collector's edition that was costly if it comes down in price and it's got a nice steelbook attached to it, like I did recently with the Project Cars 2. It was 120 quid limited edition when it came out, and I managed to pick one up for 50 quid. Well, I mean, the steelbook on its own goes for 30, 35, so it's a no-brainer really. But anyway, my top 10 is split equally over PS4 and PS3. I don't think there's any. I think there may be one Xbox in there as well. So but of that era, obviously PS3. When I say PS3, I mean the PS3 Xbox 360 era. So anyway, without any further ado, I'll jump straight into it. And here we go. At number 10 of my top 10 will be that one, Crisis 2 Nano Edition. Now, I haven't put this in to the top 10 because it's a rare steelbook. It is, well, when I say rare, scarce. I don't like to use the word rare, as you know. But that one is scarce simply because the edition that it came from was a very expensive one when it came out, and it hasn't come down in price any. And I haven't seen that many offered on of the limited edition that this came from. I haven't seen any of them on eBay or anywhere. So, but yeah, I mean that's just a classy steelbook for me. You know, I know it's kind of monochrome, black. Well, it's duochrome if you like, black and white, but it's got this. I'll just turn it round and you might be able to see better in the light there. It's got this lovely embossed, and then you've got this lozenge shaped embossing as well in the background, and this lovely border. So I mean, to me that's a good example of a steelbook that's had a lot of care and attention given to its design and its detail. Because when you assess steelbooks, you can only assess them for their aesthetic. You know, I mean, they're all the same. They all look the same. They've all got that, you know, the same spine. They all look the same round the front. Steelbooks don't differ, you know, apart from the metal packs which have the hinge spine. But you know, basically, the only way you can appraise a steelbook is by how much care has gone into it and the artwork and how nice it looks. So I mean, for me, that is an example of a nice steelbook that's had a lot of care and attention given to it. Unfortunately, it's another one of those, sadly, that has a very boring backside. But if you pardon the expression, but this is true of so many EA steelbooks. You know, I mean, I could just as easily have done a top 10 worst steelbooks ever, because there's a lot of bad, you know, awful looking steelbooks out there, in my opinion. And EA are particularly to blame in this area, because they have produced a lot of very sort of like boring steelbooks, to be honest, you know, for want of a better word. But anyway, that kicks us off at number 10. Now this was number 9. I've included this one. It's a fairly recent acquisition that I showed you in the last pickups video. But I didn't even know this. I didn't even know there was a PAL version of this until I saw it online, and the guy who sold it to me assured me that it's a bona fide UK edition. I have played the game a little bit, and I did not enjoy it. You know, it was an okay shooter, but it's a very nice story, in as much as the back is probably nicer than the front, actually. And if you open the whole thing up, you know, it forms a very nice sort of vista, if you like, of the whole scene. But yeah, I mean, I was well impressed with that. It's one that I bought with the game in. You know, I buy so many steelbooks now without the game in, because it's cheaper that way. But yeah, I was impressed with that. So that's PS4 Battleborn, and I'll throw that in at number 9, simply because it looks so nice. Right, now we'll jump back to PS3 now. Okay. The Batman Arkham City. Now there were actually 4 of these from different retailers. I managed to pick up all 4 at the time when they were new, simply because I bought them and then sold the game on. You know, something I do if there's a game with, you know, 3 or 4 different steelbooks, I normally just keep one game and then sell the game on to give me some cash to buy something else, you know. So yeah, there were 4 of these, and the reason there were 4 of them is because they all had a different character, villain, if you like, on the back cover. You had the Catwoman one here, then you had the Two-Face one, the Joker one, and the Penguin one, all of which I have. But I've chosen this one because I particularly like the Catwoman back cover of over the other 3. Yeah, so that was I think that's quite a nice steelbook. I like silver steelbooks, and it's just a nice design. I like it. It's got something about it, you know, that I haven't seen in other steelbooks. So that was in at number 8. Now I had to deliberate hard about Final Fantasy, because there's been so many good Steelbooks in the Final Fantasy series. I have probably seven or eight, maybe more Final Fantasy Steelbooks, and all of them are quite nice. But I've chosen this one because it's. I'll just take it out of its sleeve so you can better see it. Chosen this one because it's an Amano, the artist Amano. I can never pronounce the Christian name, but it's Amano anyway. Everybody knows him as that. And for me, that's a nice example of Amano's work. Like I say, I could have picked any one of another half a dozen Steelbooks, and I think there's there is no art in the middle of this one because it's a 2-discer, so you wouldn't be able to see much of the artwork anyway inside. But that's a real nice piece of artwork. Real nice piece of artwork on the back too. That's how I judge a good steelbook, basically, by whether it's got a nice front and back. I don't know why these steelbook manufacturers or the publishers assume that you never look at the back, because I always do. But anyway, that's Final Fantasy 15, by the way, the deluxe edition, and that comes in at number 7. Now every once in a while you get like a nice gold steelbook, so I've thrown this in at number 6, Rayman Legends. I was actually given that. This is an HMV exclusive. It was a PS3 game. It was HMV exclusive, and knowing a chap in HMV, I got talking to him over the months, and I just asked him, if they had any back when PS3 was really going strong with steelbooks. They used to produce a lot of the steelbooks outside of the game. In other words, when you got the steelbook, you got the game sealed, and then this came with it, rather than with the game inside. Such it is with this one. You can see it's empty. Unfortunately, there's no artwork inside. But I really like gold steelbooks. That's the reason that I've thrown that one in, and as I say, it was a freebie. It's amazing what you can do when you get to know some of these people who work in shops. I've got people throwing steelbooks at me from all angles. That's just by sort of chatting to people who work in shops and whatever. But I mean, a lot of the time they get steelbooks in with games and they just sell the game, and then they just throw the steelbook in the drawer, And that's where I've been fortunate enough to get quite a few free ones. So, that was Rayman Legends at number 6. Right, now this one I actually bought. Don't think I get them all free. That's in at number 5 because the artwork is done by Alex Ross, who happens to be one of my favourite comic book illustrators also. He's only done a couple of steelbook covers, but this one was particularly striking. I find Assassin's Creed 3 on the PS3. There's a lovely back cover as well. So you have the front and the back view. I'll just open it out and show you that a bit better. Yeah, I think that's a really, really nice idea, and it's beautifully drawn. Colours are vibrant, and it's silver. Again, I just love silver and gold. Silver, gold, red, purple. I just, if I see any in those sort of hues, I automatically are just drawn to them. And they become favourites of mine. But anyway, that's Assassin's Creed 3 on PS3 by Alex Ross, and that is my number 5 pick. Right, at number 4, it's the only one that I have. This is one of those hinged metal packs. I didn't used to like these because I thought, they're just a knockoff of steelbooks. But the more I look at them, the more I think, well, there's not a lot of difference really. I know a lot of steelbook collectors will say, oh, that's not a steelbook. You can't classify that as a steelbook, but it's, it's made of the same material. It's, to me, it's almost the same as a steelbook, except it doesn't have the square spine. So I personally don't make any exception between the two. Don't make any extinction. And that is Record. Now actually, I bought this is a weird one because I bought it as a limited collector's edition. It came in a massive box. I mean, it wreaked havoc with my room that I keep my limited editions in, because I'm short of space to start with, and this came in an absolutely massive box because it has a large figurine with it, which is also very nice, I should add. And I only bought it because it was dirt cheap. I mean, it was only about 20 quid for maybe 30, 25, 30, I can't remember, but it was a lot cheaper than when it came out. And that was simply because it didn't have the game with it. It was one of these limited editions that came separate from the game, So I actually bought this without the game because chances are I wouldn't play the game anyway. But as I say, the joy of this one was getting that nice figurine, and also this very stylish steel pack as well. I really like the artwork on that one, which is why I put it in at number 4. And there's a little map inside there that's something to do with the game, but that's not the joy of the steelbook. It's the external artwork that I'm rather taken with, which leads us into the top 3. Now it's difficult when you've got I don't know, well over 100, 120, I don't know, probably about 140 by now. When you've got that number of steelbooks, it's hard to figure out what your top 3 favourites are. But anyway, here we go at number 3. Right, that's I never actually remember the titles of all these Castlevania. That's the first Lords of Shadow game. There's so many different steelbooks for these, and there's a couple of games. That's the Lord of Shadows. Now that was one of a couple of steelbooks I think that were produced for this game, but that is by far and away the nicest. I mean, that is beautiful. What I like about it also is there's no writing on it. It's just a virgin steelbook with, I'll just draw you in there to show you the artwork closely. You've got that sort of like that lighting effect on the thing. It's almost like rubber or plastic or something, But no, I mean that is my idea of a very nice steelbook, which is why I've thrown it in at number 3. And joy of joys, it's got a very nice back cover to it also. So yeah, red. Give me red, and that'll get into my top 10 any day of the week. Okay, now here we go, number 2. Now this is a case of less being more, I suppose, because it's it's not it's not one of those steelbooks that sort of hits you in the face like the red Castlevania one there, which screams out, "Look at me, look at me." But this one is actually one of a series of set. It's the For Honor steelbook, by the way. For some reason, there are 3 helmets. They're the 3 helmets on the back there, and you've got a steelbook for each of those. But this is the sort of like the samurai helmet, which is my favourite of the 3, and it was also far more expensive than the other 2. I had a lot of trouble finding it, so I'm a steelbook addict and collector, and if I had trouble finding it, I'm guessing there's not many knocking around. I haven't seen many on eBay of any description, to be honest. There is there is a fourth steelbook that is that shows the characters from the game with these helmets on. It's sort of like a collage kind of cover, but it's nowhere near as classy as the three helmets. I mean, that one's quite common, but these three were. A couple of these were from some independent online retailers, so obviously they're not as common as you know, something you might buy from Game or Amazon or HMV as an exclusive. But yeah, that's a real nice steelbook. I really like that one, and it took me a while to find, but it was worth it. So yeah, it's another one of the packs, by the way. But to say, that doesn't bother me anymore. It's extremely nice. So we have now drum roll. What's my favourite steelbook? Well, it's actually Marvel versus Capcom Infinite. Now, any of you saw my last pickup video will remember that, because I waxed lyrical about it at the time. I've only had it a couple of months, well, maybe not quite that long now. And I mean, for me, I know you get the cover with it that shows you what the game is, but I just like these steelbooks that are just like a virgin cover with no text or print or logos or anything on, and I think that's lovely. I just think that's a lovely image. You know, I had a long rant actually when I did the last video about the back cover, which is about as bland and horrible as you can get, but I'm not bothered, because it's more or less more than made up for by the excellence of the front cover. I bought it as a proper game as well, so the code's been used, by the way, so if anybody fancies using that, try, but you won't get anywhere with it. Yeah, so I mean, that, weirdly enough, you know, it's strange having when you've collected steelbooks for as long as I have, it's strange having a favourite steelbook that just, you know, that you just got a few weeks back. But you know, that's the way the ball rolls sometimes, where the cookie crumbles, as they say. And that, you know, until somebody brings out a real stonkingly good steelbook, that will remain my favourite, regardless of its age. So there you go. That's my idea of top 10 favourite steelbooks in the gaming arena. I'll just throw in a couple of near misses. These two nearly made the cut. That's the Final Fantasy 14 Stormblood. I thought that was another freebie. That was actually given to me without the game, but I really like that. That's a nice image. As I said before, the Final Fantasy steelbooks are normally very nice. And then I've got to give a mention to this one, because it's the Xbox One edition. It's Forza Horizon 3. Now, I'm a big fan of the game. I used to play it a lot before I got addicted to Destiny, but yeah, that's a steelbook that I particularly like. It's got a dynamic look to it, and I like the colours. And unfortunately, we've got the horrible back cover syndrome. But yeah, I mean, I bought that new. It was about 80 quid, but it had all the DLC and everything with it, you know. And you get a membership, you know, a membership card, club thing that entitles you to all sorts of free stuff. So yeah, I didn't mind paying it because it's a good game. But yeah, I mean, those two nearly made the cut, but you can only have 10 in the top 10, and those remain just outside of it. Right, okay, well, that's it for this video. Thanks everybody for watching, and thank you everybody for continuing to subscribe. You know, I think we're around about 720 now, so that's about 700 more than I thought I was going to get when I first kicked off this series of videos. But as I say, once again, thanks for watching, and I hope to have another video lined up for you in the not too distant future. So goodbye for now.